to my blog post. This is healthmindedfamilies.blogspot.com. I just went on a lovely road trip with my children and they didn't go crazy, so I thought that I would share with you some of the tips that I use when we go on a really long road trip. This one was 10 hours there, it was 10 hours back, so it was 20 hours in the car total, and my kids kept their sanity because, you know, I kept mine, which is always nice. So first of all, just make sure that you know and acknowledge the fact that little kids, you know, I'm talking, you know, probably about 11 and under, are going to need some entertainment. So when they're really young, like when they're 7 and younger, you're going to have to break it up even more. But you know your kids, you're going to be able to figure this out. What I used with mine, my little ones, you know, I had teenagers as well, they can take care of themselves. But with my 6-year-old and my 4-year-old, I knew that they needed to switch activities about every 30 minutes. So one of the things that will help with that too is that you can get a timer that you can put on one of the back seats of the car. And you can do this with Velcro, or you can strap it on. I mean, there's a number of things that you can do, but when the kids see that time running down and they know that their activity is getting ready to switch, they get really excited about it. So the two things that I always mark for the kids, one is the 30 minutes to change the activity, and the other is every 2 hours we're going to stop for a potty break. And this can coincide with lunch or when you need to fill up at a gas station, but make sure every 2 hours they're getting out of the car, they're going to the bathroom, stretching their legs for a second and getting back in the car, and it's going to keep them from, you know, whining so much. So first of all, let's talk about some snacks, because snack and snack food inside of a car, I just don't think that you have to, you know, go crazy, go broke in order to do it. So the first thing that you want to gather is your mom bag. This is my bright colored mom bag. It looks a little bigger, you know, on the video than in person. But what I like about it is that it's nice and thin. It's really narrow, so it fits really well in the car. I keep everything in there. You don't want to have the kids to be able to be too much in control. They do have smaller backpacks, but you don't want them to have all of the stuff because that stuff will just end up all over the car. So the more you can keep with you, the more you can do that, the better it is. Now, if you have not already found these, I recommend highly that you go get the Ziploc snack bags. The reason why I recommend these is because anytime you go out and you get a bag of chips or you get some pretzels or you get something that's in a bigger bag, if you automatically go and break it down into the snack bags, your kids can help themselves to those for lunches or for getting in the car. They can choose them themselves and it's really easy. So just take enough that they're going to eat in one sitting. Even this is probably a little bit too much for my little guys. You know, probably 5 is enough. But just fill it with what it is they're going to be eating in that one sitting. I'll also use crackers. You know, with crackers, you want to be a little careful because then they're going to need lots of water. Bottles of water is absolutely imperative because if they spill a bottle of water back there, it's fine. You can also fill it up when you stop, and so that's very economical. One of the vegetables as well, there's no crumbs with the vegetable. They don't need water with a vegetable or a fruit because it already has the water in there. Carrots do great, celery does fantastic, apples even do well if you want to take them, slice them up, and then in a bowl, what you want to do is select a good citrus oil. You guys know that I'm really into the essential oils. I use orange or citrus fresh or lemon. That's what all of these are. Take about 5 drops or so and put it into the bottom of the bowl and then fill the bowl up with water. So, you know, nice purified water if you have it. Then if you take the slices and you put the slices into that oil-infused water, mix them up a little bit, stick them in the strainer and drain all of it out, you can pack those into a bag and they're not going to turn brown, which is fantastic. Who likes a brown apple? So, so that's snacks. Now let's talk about activities, okay? The first activity that I always recommend is drawing. My kids prefer plain white paper to coloring books, but you're going to know your children, you know, if they love the activity books, the coloring books, go to the dollar store and pick those up. This, I actually even take it one step further than that because all of my plain white paper is the weird stuff that the printer prints off. So I take it, I let the kids draw on it, and then after they're done drawing on it, it can go into the recycle bin. You know, you can get even further use from it. Next, I actually do recommend these, okay? These are the Leapsters. This one is the Leapster GS. This one's even older. It's the Leapster Explorer. And then, of course, you have your other electronics like your VTEX and stuff like that. Here's why I love these. These will actually come, you can buy, first of all, you can get them real cheap on Craigslist. The new ones are like your Leapster pads and, you know, the stuff that's meant to look like all of the current electronics. You can pick these up. I regularly pick them up for people off of Craigslist, and for about $20 you get not only the device but a whole slew of games. People are selling them used all over the place. Then you can actually go to the store, or you can find these on Craigslist or eBay as well, but instead of having a battery pack on the back, it actually has a lithium pack that's rechargeable, so you don't have to go through all of the batteries. Now, if you don't do the batteries, make sure that you grab some and you throw them in your mom bag for when you have to switch them out. But for batteries and for charging, you have got to get yourself one of these. This is the Powerline, and what it has is you plug it into your lighter, like you would if you were charging a phone. And on it, if you can see this, it's got 2 plugs and the USB. So you can be charging your phone with the USB. You can have one of the battery pack chargers in this thing. And over here, you can actually plug in your laptop and be charging your laptop. And DVDs, of course, are one of the great ways that you can keep your children entertained. So if you've got this, or if you charge the laptop battery, you can set it up on some blankets or pillows in a place in the car where everybody can see it. Now, I actually recommend that you take your DVDs out of the case and you put them into a little zippy pouch, so that way you don't have all of those DVD cases all over the place. And, you know, of course, Netflix, kids love Netflix, but, you know, unless you're going to pay for the little Wi-Fi thing to stick in and hope that it works in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, DVDs are great. And, you know, that's another thing that you can switch around a lot while your kids are driving. So, now last but most important, you want to keep the kids healthy. I don't know if you guys have been seeing all the FDA stuff about hand sanitizers, but this one, which is a Thieves hand sanitizer, actually does not have that active ingredient that the FDA is now saying is making our thyroids go insane. And I actually attached that because people ask me, you know, they're like, oh, are you a sensationalist because, you know, you mentioned the FDA? So it's actually here in the blog. You can print it off. But this is a sanitizer that actually has the Thieves essential oil in it, and so it's going to disinfect and kill all of the bacteria and all of the viruses. So if your kids go out there, they're playing on the playscape, you can use this hand sanitizer and be completely healthy and not mess up your hormones, okay? This is Thieves spray, and I love this because you can disinfect anything else that your kids are about to touch, or you can even spray it on their hands in lieu of the sanitizer. You can also take it, spray it in hotel rooms, you know, spray it on the sheets and on the bedding. What it smells like is it actually smells like Christmas. It's clovey, it's cinnamony, it's got a little bit of lemon in there. So it's going to smell great, and nobody's going to be looking at you like you just laid in Lysol. Okay, so you can spritz down everything. It's a fantastic thing to keep around, especially with the flu being so icky. You know, the flu bug this year is supposed to be really, really bad. So definitely keep those things in mind. And then I actually have a secret weapon. This is my Peace and Calming. And what I do with the Peace and Calming is that if the kids are just getting crazy rowdy, or if it's nighttime, my kids don't like sleeping in the car. But if I take some of the Peace and Calming, all you're going to do is you're just going to open it up and you're going to put a little on your finger just like that. Did you see that little splash? It's not even a drop. Go right behind their earlobes at the bottom right here. Rub some here, put a little bit on their little wrists and have them rub it together. And it's going to take the edge off of all of that pent up energy and just relax them. And because it's on them, it's not going to be exciting you who will be in the front seat. So for all of us in the front seat, I do not recommend, of course, the 5-hour energies and things like that. I love the Ningxia Nitro because Ningxia Nitro is in these little bitty tubes and you just squeeze them right into your mouth. They're natural, they're healthy, they're organic, and they don't do the spike and then the let down. They're going to give you nice sustained energy, the little Ningxia Nitro tubes. They're absolutely wonderful, so I recommend those as well. So hopefully this will help you to keep your kids sane in the car, and I will see you next time.